So our final school is Helios. This one is a little bit more interesting because it's the only school that doesn't have a high school. It's currently K through 8. However, we did receive a lot of feedback from parents and a desire for us to talk about this. So we're going to cover Helios and as in-depth as we can. So their location is Sunnyvale, and the current teacher to student ratio is 1:7. There's tuition for lower school or elementary school is $34,750, and their upper school is $36,750, so an increase of $2,000. Their main grade entrance is kindergarten and grade 6, and two key characteristics that we're going to talk about in the next slides is that they do have personalized classes by strength in the subject and interest in the topic, and they have an emphasis on outdoor learning and play. So for their key characteristics, their math classes are not organized by age, but instead by readiness of the subject. So this allows a lot of mobility for the students. If they're gifted at math, they can go up and take classes that normally students wouldn't take until a later age, or the other way around. If math isn't quite their subject, they can definitely be more behind, and that's totally okay as well. And then in order to accommodate for this, teachers will make adjustments to compensate for the age gap and maturity level, because obviously a student who's in a class that's 3 grades above what they would usually take, the age gap may be a little bit much and their maturity level may not quite be there. So the teachers do everything they can to make accommodations so that the student still receives the best learning experience possible. And they also have emphasis on project-based learning. One example is that every Friday students will partake in Helios's math circles activity, where students can learn multiple methods to solve problems through group activities. Helios does understand that math can definitely be a stressful subject that can be hard to learn alone. So they want to incorporate project-based learning through their math circles program, so that students can do their homework together, do activities together, and learn from each other. And their goal is that hopefully they can learn quicker since they're learning from multiple people, and it can make math more fun. And then lastly, they do promote other types of learning skills, not just the typical English, math, social studies, and science. They like to promote industrial learning skills, more hands-on learning skills such as yarn, fabric, and then even once they become more advanced, they will work with 3D printing and laser cutting through their Imagine Lab makerspace, because they do believe that those skills are important as well, and they can be fun for a student's overall learning experience. So that is some key characteristics, but we'll go into one of their most popular key characteristic, which is their outdoor activities. And so for Helios, they definitely have a lot of emphasis on integrating outdoor activities to promote learning, a healthy lifestyle, and environmental engagement, the importance of the environment, and how it moves and how it acts. And so essentially the 3 kind of components that they do to integrate this is camping, field work, and gardening. And so for camping, even starting in kindergarten, students camp overnight on campus, and over time, as they get more comfortable with camping and being away from home, the trips will become longer and farther away in places such as New Brighton Beach or Manresa Beach. For those who don't know where that is, New Brighton Beach is in Aptos, which is right around the Santa Cruz area, so about 35-40 miles from here. And then Manresa Beach is about 10 to 15 miles south of there in Watsonville. And when they're camping, they learn skills such as for the outdoors, such as map reading, plant identification, first aid, and more. So it's essentially kind of like a miniature Boy Scout, Girl Scout kind of thing, where they want to kind of promote outdoor learning and learning life skills such as that, which are very important. They also promote real world experiences through their field work, where students take trips outside of the classroom. And then lastly, inside their campus, they have a garden. And it's used for students to learn basics of gardening and even food growing. They're not just going to be growing flowers, they'll also be growing food that can be eaten, which is a great real life skill to learn. And they do this through learning lessons such as seed saving, soil tests, and even composting. So kind of one thing that Helios does emphasize from you can tell from this information is that they like to promote learning through outdoor activities. They do know that being in the classroom all the time can definitely be tiresome. So going outdoors, getting fresh air can help the students learn through play and definitely get a new kind of like environment and learn about the environment. So that's something that they like to emphasize with their students from K through 8. So now we'll get into some feedback they received from parents, which is actually a decent amount. For Helios, these are some quotes that we received from parents when asking about the school. One said that their academics are very strong, especially for math, and that their literacy program was revamped about a year ago. And it also feels very strong as well, but they do feel like they get a little bit less info from their kids. And then another one said that they do actually get a lot of info from their literacy teachers about their kids. It's pretty in-depth and well differentiated from both their kids. They're getting personalized feedback, both in-depth feedback. And then another quote here said that it has an awesome community and great SEL, a ton of events, parties, parent coffees, camping trips, etc., parent education events, and it overall feels like a tight-knit community, as you can tell from the camping trips, and then also from everything that this parent said. They want to make sure that the parents are more like incorporated in the school so they don't feel isolated and that they can get involved as well. And then for our last two quotes, one said that math is grouped by level rather than age. We said that before. And then her experience was that her second grader was actually in pre-algebra, which is around seventh grade math. So they were very ahead of their peers. And Helios was able to accommodate them based off of their maturity level and make those adjustments. And then our last quote here says that a younger kid understands Spanish fluently, but they can't or won't speak it. So the teacher customized the program for them. And despite his being above the level of the class, I was actually pretty shocked that he's coming home from kindergarten actually having learned Spanish. So this is just another example of the teachers trying to customize the program if the student needs a learning accommodation to help get the most out of the student in the class and help them better advance and excel their learning path. So that is it for all 5 of these schools. We'll now get into quickly some statistical comparisons.